It's debuting tonight on Citi TV. You don't want to miss it. Set your reminders, 7:30 sharp. Tune in and watch The Hairdressers and see what all the hype is about. Okay, it's going to become your new favorite series. So just set your Wednesdays 7:30 and you're good to go. And of course, there'll be repeats as well over the weekend, so you don't have to miss it. Well, we're taking a trip to the eastern region now, specifically to see what's happening with the power distribution challenges in the Yilo Lower Manya Krobo as well. Now, there's been an impasse there with this whole back and forth on whether or not they should pay utility bills or power bills. The residents of the area say they're entitled to some kind of reprieve from that because they feel their land was used for the construction of the Akosombo Dam. So it's been quite a back and forth, right? Let's check out this report by our colleague Kweku Eduama Ansa.
So you're still watching the Citi Newsroom on Citi TV. My name is Kweku Eduama Ansa. We'll now try and get some answers to the ongoing situation in the Krobo Enclave. Let me engage the Municipal Chief Executive for the Yilo Krobo Municipality.
Very sad and not happy about the situation we find ourselves. Because for me, Yilo Krobo, we've been the victim of the situation. Because this issue of prepaid metering, we've cooperated with the ECG people. There is no incidents where someone will say that our people attacked the ECG people.
So now we know that you've been out of power for the past 1 week. What is the way forward? Are you going to still be in darkness for weeks to come?
It shouldn't be so. In fact, when I got from the ECG people that this was the reason why they put out, I told the regional minister that one, they have not been fair to us. And I sent a message to the MD of ECG, and he told me the matter was with national security. So yesterday I went there, and I made a case, and I think they realized that ECG are not being fair to us.
How soon are you expecting to have your power restored?
I believe that this power should come back within the next 48 hours. It shouldn't exceed that.
So we've also been interacting with the leadership of the Traditional Council to find out what the way forward is, and we will be getting more updates with regard to that.
For them to be operating smoothly and just decide to exit and then put all the lights off at the point in time without any explanation, we are so disappointed. They engaged us from the beginning. We made them aware whenever they have any hinges, they should come back to us. But they chose not to come and then to off the light. That is disappointing. With engagements, we've spoken to, personally, I've spoken to the local branch here in Sumanya, to find what is wrong. They haven't been able to offer anything. I was referred to the Tema district, which we followed up there, and then subsequently we've been referred to the national. We've successfully booked an appointment with the managing director at the head office. Tomorrow we'll be going there to trash whatever issues there is, if there is any.
We're still assessing the impact of the power outage on the residents and also the work of people who live in the Krobo Enclave. And we're currently here at the Yilo Krobo Municipal Health Directorate to find out what the situation is like.
As a result of power outage, we have to relocate our cold chain equipment, our vaccine fridges and our freezer to a nearby facility, which is Akoli Chiefs compound. So every day by the protocols, we have to chart temperature in the morning and in the evening to ensure that the vaccines are stored under appropriate temperature. So every morning an officer has to move to Akoli Chiefs to check how the vaccines were kept during the night. Then in the evening, they also go and check. And at the same time, when the teams or workers, they need some vaccines, COVID-19 vaccines, routine vaccines for childhood diseases, they have to move peak vaccines and bring to the teams. Because as you are aware, in Yilo Krobo, I have a district hospital, Yilo Krobo District Hospital. I have Somanya Polyclinic, I have Somanya Health Center, and Ajikpo Chips. And all these facilities are affected as a result of the general power outage.
Now, the news team has been engaging the leadership of the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, on reasons for power outages in parts of the Krobo enclave?
Well, there have been some stakeholder engagements here and there. There have been some assurances. Even today, I had a session with the MC for Yilo Krobo, and he gave us the assurance on Adom FM. He gave us the assurance that there would be peace. We also, where the media comes in as much as we need all these entities and personalities involved, we also need to reach the public. We need to reach the residents of Pouno especially and parts of Noa. So if you are on radio, for instance, transmitting through Right FM, which I hope is happening now, you definitely some would be listening every now and then.
But the people don't have power to run, so how do they listen to you?
Okay, so hopefully soon power will be restored. I can't tell when though, because I anticipate that's going to be your next question. But I'm saying that in such campaigns, it's not going to be a one-day situation.
All right, so that's a report put together by our colleague Kwekwe Drama and Sanao. This is a bit of a difficult situation that we find ourselves. I think that there are different layers to all of this.
Yeah, I'd agree.
There are different layers to all of this, but by and large, I think we should accept that if you're going to make use of a utility, you've got to pay something. I know that there's a way that ECG has properties that pay commercial rate vis-a-vis properties that pay residential rate, right? So if it's possible to do that, then it means it's possible for them to differentiate, right? So I think that some of these communities that maybe there can be some kind of a concession, to pay something, but not as much as everybody else pays, if the discussions go that direction. But you can't say that you use for free and not pay anything. It doesn't work.
No,
it doesn't work at all.
Then there's the issue for healthcare service delivery. That's what makes it dicey, because they need power. I mean, it's like they cannot function without power, right? So how do you balance the equation? Do you say, okay, we're gonna do enough to keep you operating, but then we cut off everybody else, or you try to compromise? I know, but the healthcare service delivery, for me, that's a big one, because they need the power. They really
Our
do.
colleague Neil Kanaku is on the line. Neil, good morning.
Good morning, Google.
Yeah, so how is Eastern Region this morning?
Most areas are calm, but the only issue has to do with what is currently happening in the Krobo enclave.
Okay.
As we speak now.
Okay, so when you say Krobo enclave, tell us how widespread is the power outage?
So you take the Krobo enclave, we have the Yilo Krobo municipality, we have the Lower Manya Krobo municipality, and then we have the Upper Manya, which is capital as the Asasawa area.
Okay.
So and then some areas within the Sodiaman area forms part of the Krobo enclave, and then you have Akuse also joining in the Krobo enclave. The situation we are experiencing now happens to be in the Yilo Krobo municipality and then Lower Manya Krobo municipality. That is Somenya and Odumase. So the power outage stretches from Somenya through to Atwa, which is in the Odumase area, Manya Pouno, Miaso, all the way to Bon.
Okay.
That's how the situation stretches.
All right, so it's interesting because I know that the issue has to directly do with Yilo Krobo and Lower Manya Krobo. How is it that Somenya, Udumasi, and Pong and all of them have been affected as well?
So they are all on the same transmission line. They are using the same transformers. That's why when you try to take power from one area, it affects all the other areas. Now, where we are currently are now is that people of Somanya, that is, we have the assembly members making part of the assembly at the Yilo Krobo enclave. You have the traditional leaders, you have the divisional chiefs, you have other paramounts, and then even residents within the Yilo area are saying they want the prepaid meter installation in their area.
Okay.
That is what they are currently saying. But when you move to the other half, which is the Lower Manya area, where we have Manya Krobo, where we have Nwaso, straight down to Bon area, that is where the people, majority of them, are obstructing the activities of the Electricity Company of Ghana, indicating that they don't want prepaid metering installation in the area. So that has been where we are now with regards to the power situation in that area.
I see. Now, I find it interesting how ECG's distribution system works, because if even in Achimota where I live, right, when power goes out, they have a way of making sure the power goes out in tiny spaces and sometimes even in phases, right? So you'll find that a small part of Achimota will have no power, but the rest of Achimota has power. I'm just wondering, and I don't understand the exact engineering that they've done in terms of the architecture for their systems that they've done there in the eastern region, but I find it challenging, to understand how they are unable to separate Somenya Odumase from the areas that are actually creating problems in code for them. I don't know if there's any people that you spoke to in terms of the engineers and all of that, and what they're saying about this.
Yeah. So this is also surprising to majority of the people in the area, especially those around Somenya enclave there. Now, this question will best be answered by the engineers from the Electricity Company of Ghana with regards to how they are strategizing and then distributing power in that particular area. But from what we know is even last year we were at the same point where the power situation was taken from the people in the area for more than a week.
Yeah.
It took the intervention of the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Kufudampare, to come around. He got to the place around 11. At 11 p.m., he was still engaging people. He met crowd. He met the keys in the area. Before that same night or the next morning, power was restored to the area. And when the situation happens like that, all the area from Somenya to Bon, it stretches. We have a lot of communities in that particular area. We have a lot of health centers, referral centers, even in that particular area, all being affected in that particular situation. So currently, things are very difficult for residents, including even government workers who have been posted there and are duty, and they are working now. Just yesterday, when I went there, I met a lot of people who were even trying to move away from the community. I spoke to a nursing mother who was leaving the area. I met that person at the station. She was on her way to Ada in the Greater Accra region to reside there for a while. So power is restored to that particular area. So currently, things are down here. Businesses are going down as we speak now. A lot of cold stores have shut down. A lot of people, barber shops, salons, and others who solely rely on electricity to power their appliances to work are shutting down because of where we have ourselves now in that particular area. So things are currently difficult. Things are hard. People are charging exorbitant to charge phones for people because they've rented generators to do that. And then the critical area is the health facilities in that area. We have the Atwa Government Hospital, which happens to be the #1 referral center in the Krobo enclave. So all the Citi compound dotted in communities all refer their cases to the Atwa Hospital. We have the St. Martin de Porres Hospital. Also, there we have the newly built Somenya Hospital. We have the polyclinic, and all of them are complaining. Even yesterday, a coalition of health workers in Krobo Enclave issued a statement indicating that their lives are at risk because 3 of their members for the past 3 days have been attacked by unknown persons in the area. They are taking advantage of the darkness of the area. So these health workers, after closing work in the evening, are attacked on their way, mobile phones being snatched from them and what have you. So this situation has become a major problem for not only residents in there, but other government workers who have also been posted and trying their trade there, and other players, also people who also come, investors who also visit that area to also trade. They are all complaining about the situation.
Well, thank you very much, Neil, for bringing us that update. We appreciate your time. Thank you. We've been speaking with Neil Kanaku, who is our Eastern Regional Correspondent. Yeah. So it's a national security issue.
It is. It is. And at this point, I think a drastic solution needs to be taken.
Yeah.
Drastic, not violent.
Yes.
Drastic, not violent.
Yeah.
The people who need to move in there to protect ECG workers to do what they have to do, I think need to move in there.
Yeah.
Because listening to the report, Neil's reports and all of that,
Yeah.
the benefits of the installation of the prepaid meters far outweighs
Yeah.
the disenchantment, I guess you could say, of a portion of the population who feel they don't want that.
Yeah.
The bigger picture has to win at the end of the day. We can't have health facilities that are struggling because some people don't want prepaid meters. We can't have people who have legitimate business also suffering because some people don't want prepaid meters.
And the majority of people within the enclave
are okay with
the
it.
meters. They say, look, listen, come and install them.
So how do you hold all of these other people to ransom because you don't want prepaid meters? Charlie, at some point, maybe people are trying to be diplomatic about it, but at some point, I think
we need to, yes, we'll run the diplomatic channels, but we also need to take hard decisions and do what we've got to do.
Do what you got to do.
Yeah. And
not to say there shouldn't be dialogue to explain what having a prepaid meter entails, that you actually have more control over your usage
of power,
because what you pay for is what you get ahead of time. It's not as if you're waiting,
And you can decide to minimize power when you don't, it helps.
It's more, you have more control over, exactly. I don't know what kind of discussions have taken place. I would assume these negotiations have taken place before, but there's still some aversion to the prepaid meter by those who are protesting it, for whatever reason. But at this point, the situation is dire. We can't have people being attacked because the whole place is dark. For doing their daily work. It's not right. What sense does that make?
I think that we've left it for too long.
Yes, that's the other thing. It's
we've left it for
so
too long.
prolonged.
Yeah, I'm not sure why successive governments have not wanted to deal with this matter, because I'm sure it's not a new matter. No. I just think that we need to understand that the whole system needs to be cohesive and work cohesively. All right. The Public Utilities Workers Union, we have their General Secretary, Michael Edumata Nyantechi, on the line. Michael, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes. So just quickly share with us, what are your thoughts as far as where we currently find ourselves in this Krobo Enclave ECG matter going on?
Okay, good morning and good morning to your listeners and viewers. My name is Simon Omelech, and I'm an SSC. I work within the Krobo Enclave as well as my other colleagues. The issue has now become an issue that we don't know the leg and tail of. As that, it was yesterday when the light went off about 2 weeks ago. It was yesterday that we heard from the PRO why the light went off. And to her, she said some people who went with them with the transformers of some areas. And that is why the whole light system went off in Poland. In fact, our concern is not about how the light went off when. I think we are citizens, and I will be talking in the capacity of a citizen and somebody living within the area. We needed to know why the light went off and when it will be coming back. After that, we have no idea. The PRO talking to us yesterday seems like he herself doesn't know when the light will come on. And the citizens around here are suffering, including us. 2 days ago, the 2 municipal directors, health directors, the Yilo and Manya, gave a joint press briefing and they highlighted what the lighthouse has, how the lighthouse has affected them. Within some, the cold chain system, how the vaccines are stored, and how they have to relocate the vaccines to other nearby towns. And then the amount of fuel, the amount of money they have to use to purchase fuel to power some of the generators. In all this, you have realized that the welfare of the staff, the health workers, were not captured in that. So we decided to bring ourselves together and also bring out how this lighthouse is also impacting us. Just 3 days ago, our staff, not to say without lighthouse, people would get stolen, but our staff have started getting harassed by some hooligans and thieves within the locality. It was the goal for afternoon tea, by the time they come, it's like a place and the whole area becomes that. Knowing that they live around that enclave and will be going back to work. People taking advantage of the lighthouse to steal and rob them. So this is our concern, that this is to continue this way, that we go to work and will not have peace of mind to work at work.
Yeah.
And that you have to be thinking about your safety and your security too. There is as better as we stay at home to get ourselves secure. So we have planned as healthcare workers to do the enclave that we may not say we will not go to work. We go to work and we only run morning shift. We go to work at 7 and close at 4 or 5 p.m. so that we can also go back home and sweep the dark hours.
Yeah.
So we can go back home and feel secure.
What, Emmanuel, I think nobody can begrudge you for putting your safety first. What particular area do you live in within the enclave?
As I'm talking to you as an individual, I live around the hospital. But there are other
Which of the hospitals? Sorry, which of the hospitals?
Where I work, I cannot disclose, but I
Okay.
work within my enclave, the hospital.
No, I was just wondering which town you were in.
I work at a hospital.
Okay, all right.
I work at a, and I live around.
Okay.
But there are others who live far away from the hospital, and
Okay.
they have to near that 2 corners to get to their home.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so people knowing that you are not at home, the whole area is that.
Yeah.
They take advantage of that situation.
All
As
right.
I said, one of our staff got chased. She closed from afternoon 6, going home around 9 p.m. The whole place was dark. She got chased. She was very lucky some 2 other men were coming, and
Yeah.
then they got rescued.
Wow.
So that is the situation at the ground now. So the health workers in the area, we are also coming together to form a coalition to tell the people, the land owners, the chiefs, the ECG, and the political leaders
Yeah.
that they should sit down and talk about this issue and solve it once and for all.
All right.
Because we are suffering and we
Thank
are
you.
laying it indirectly to our patients, and that is not healthy.
All right.
Imagine you are operating, you are in a theater operating.
Yes.
The light goes off. You have to use, there are times that we have to use our phone light.
Wow.
That is a national security threat, and that is not doing well with us as a country.
All right. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Thank you for speaking with us.
You are welcome. You are
And
welcome.
so that was, he's an anesthetist and also the convener of the Coalition of Health Workers on Krobo land.
Yes.
All right. So the health workers have come together to also express their frustration with all that's going on,
And you
as
can
they
feel,
should.
yeah,
really.
you can feel and understand where they're coming from. It makes no sense for
Yeah.
them to put themselves in harm's way
Yeah.
to try and save lives.
Yeah. When their lives
when
are
their
in
lives
danger,
are in danger
you
because
know.
of this impasse. I mean,
Yeah.
it needs to be solved.
No, as
Needs to
quickly
be
as
solved.
possible.
Yeah.
I'm just also wondering, really, what the dragging of feet is about.
Yes,
you know.
I'm also wondering. I wish
Yeah.
we could hear
Yeah.
from ECG, from the local government
Yeah.
or whoever their representatives
Yeah.
are. Have there been stakeholder engagements about this, and what is, like you said, the solution?
Yeah.
There has to be a solution. I mean, this
Honestly.
can't
We
continue.
can't continue like this.
We can't continue like this. So we need to know, we need to hear what's going to be the final word on this. Maybe we can get some information from the General Secretary of the Public Utility Workers Union, Michael Edumata Nyantechi, who's joining us on the line. Good morning, Michael. Hello, Michael.
Hello.
Hi. Yes, welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Yes.
Okay, very quickly, we just want to find out from you, to the best of your knowledge, what is the end game with regard to this standoff between the residents of the Yilo Lower Krobo area and ECG in particular? How is this going to be resolved?
Well, I think the key is actually in the hands of the traditional, the authorities in the Yilo Lower Manya Krobo area to raise in their youth and create a conducive state of affairs that will enable the city to go to work in peace and safety. I think that is all.
Okay, so you think the traditional leaders have more of a role to play in ensuring the safety of ECG workers who want to come and install these prepaid meters, right?
Exactly.
Has there?
They should tell their community members to understand that, look, technology is now the way to go. They cannot just say that they will not accept prepaid meters. It's being deployed all over the country.
Right.
So the resistance to the installation of prepaid meters is something they have to tell their people to move away from. You were complaining about your bill. Now they are bringing prepaid meters, which will virtually eliminate the issue of wrong billing, overbilling, whatever. Right. And then you are resisting the prepaid metering. So how do you want the problem to
be solved? Exactly. So Michael, but to what end can this go? So if the traditional rulers are also dragging their feet, what else can ECG do? Can they have security escorts for them to be able to do this? Oh, I mean, what again, this is not for you to talk about, but
when it was not, the cooperation wasn't forthcoming. That was why ECG proactively decided to engage the services of the military to accompany the staff to go about installing the prepaid meters.
Right.
And they started, the exercise was going on well. Then the people organized demonstrations. Then the situation virtually was getting degenerated to the point that now when some of the ECG transformers had problems, the community themselves, without any discussion with ECG, has virtually taken control and were connecting the transformers, creating a state, because you see the way ECG network is. Maybe if there's a problem in an area, you may need to put off the light at another station so that people can work to restore.
Right.
Now the people are themselves interfering with the system and connecting without the knowledge of ECG. It creates a danger. Somebody can easily be electrocuted. And so that is why when these things are going on, we say that the best way is to prevent any such occurrence.
Okay.
So they should cooperate. If they don't want to get their people in order, they should allow the military to support the ECG people to do this installation. One thing we must understand is that ECG does not generate power.
Right.
It buys the power. So if you don't want to pay for the power, how do you expect that this power can be made available to you? For how long? And this problem in the Krobo area has been since 2019. And if you go into this system in the Tema region, and you see the debt and the losses that are being occasioned because of the attitude of the people, you marvel.
Yeah.
For how long can a business entity run that way?
Exactly, and the hospitals as well. Michael, thank you so much for your time. Thank you. We appreciate you sharing your thoughts with us on Breakfast Daily this morning. So, Kweku, there we are. I mean, he seems to suggest traditional authorities or military, or maybe a combination of both, are the ones who could solve this issue. But the residents of the area really need to comply and cooperate and come on board for this ceasefire to end. Or not ceasefire, sorry, this standoff to end.
It's for the benefit not only of the enclave, but the entire country, you know, at the end of the day. And you control your power now.
You control. That's the thing.
You control your
You control. You go and buy the credits. You load it. You see how much you use in a day, a week, and you decide how much you to buy.
On the back of the conversation of, you know, exam malpractice and all of that, people want to get away with using stuff that they have not paid for. This is where the problem is. It's as simple as that.
Oh,
yeah. Anyway,
why can't we all just get along?
I think
Rodney King said it. Yes, let's take a break. When we come back, there's so much more on the show. We've got more singing from Loretta Labi. We've got beauty queens coming in the studio.
Yeah,
you're looking forward to that one.
Ready.
I know. And a lot more. We've got consumer tech. Stephen Nasebwedi will be joining us to educate us as usual. Yeah, it's a good show. And don't forget as well, tonight, Hairdressers is debuting on Citi TV. 7:30 p.m. is the new series, an original Citi TV production, and you don't want to miss it. So if you haven't already, just set your reminder. 7:30 tonight, and it's going to be every Wednesday at the same time on Citi TV. Yeah.
All right. Quick break.